Hey guys, this is Melba and welcome back to my channel. This is the first video that I am filming in 2019, so Happy New Year everyone. I hope you all had a fantastic start to your year. And today I am going to be sharing the 4 things that I learned last month. Now, because this is the first video of the year, I'm going to make it very conversational, and this time I'm going to give you guys a little bit more context behind each of the lessons that I learned, because I feel like each month I come on here and I share with you guys, but I don't always go into explicit detail about what led to these life lessons. So without further ado, let's get started with lesson number 1. So the first thing that I learned last month is that there is no such thing as perfect. Last month, I noticed that I was feeling this really great pressure to have a perfect Instagram account. I know that sounds really silly, but this is honestly something that happened to me, and I think it happens to a lot of people that are content creators. There's this constant pressure to have a perfect feed on Instagram, this constant pressure to take the perfect pictures, to share the perfect stories, and at the end of the day, that's not what life is about. First of all, there's no such thing as perfection. There's no such thing as the perfect person, as the perfect face, as the perfect body. There's just no such thing. And with Instagram, I feel like there's this constant pressure. You see everyone with their perfect posts, their perfect relationships, their perfect friends, and you're like, why is my life so boring? Why don't I have such interesting friends? And why don't I have this photographer following me around everywhere to take awesome pictures of me? But at the end of the day, again, there's no such thing as perfection. You have to remember that you should never be competing with other people, especially not online. Your only competition should be with yourself. At the end of the day, what people are posting online is not the entire story. There's all these little things happening on the back end that we don't always stop to think about, but you have to realize that people are usually not going to be posting negative stuff about their lives online. They're going to post the things that make them feel good about themselves. And if we are often just comparing ourselves in our daily lives with people who are living this extravagant lifestyles, then we're going to take away from the things that are truly making our life valuable. So that's pretty much it for that, guys. Don't strive to be perfect. Strive to be the best version of yourself. Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters. There's no such thing as perfection. All you can do is strive to be a better person than what you were yesterday. And don't compete with other people. Just focus on yourself, and that's going to be way more beneficial for you than wasting time on all these little things that at the end of the day don't really matter. The second thing that I learned is that when you're establishing yourself in your career, it's not only important to consider your job and your job responsibilities, but it's also important to consider the industry. So to give you guys some context, I graduated with my master's degree in marketing last May. And after graduation, or actually even before I graduated, I was looking for jobs in marketing. And I kind of had an idea of what industry I wanted to be in, but I didn't think that marketing itself would vary so much between each industry. In my case, if I do marketing in tech, it's going to be very different than doing marketing in healthcare or doing marketing in hospitality, because all industries are different. And the same thing applies for any line of work that you're doing. If you're in business, if you're in accounting, it's going to be very different across each industry. So when you're trying to establish your career, it's important that you think about that. Think about how your job can actually vary between these industries, and think about which industry actually aligns to your goals and your specific vision. What I discovered last year is that I am not cut out for the healthcare industry. The healthcare industry is very different from how I see marketing in my eyes and how I learned marketing in school. And I took a job in the healthcare industry, and I soon realized that it was just not for me. No matter how hard I tried, no matter how much I worked at it, there were little things here and there where we just weren't seeing eye to eye. And that's okay, that's perfectly fine. And that's not to say that the company I worked for was bad. That's not to say that the healthcare industry is bad. It just means that you have to find what works for you, and you have to take that into account when you're trying to establish yourself. The third thing that I learned actually kind of goes hand in hand with that, but the third thing that I learned is that you cannot force something that is not meant to be. And again, going back to this whole thing about, finding a career and a job that works for you, you can give your absolute all at something. You can give your absolute all on a job, but you have to remember that it goes both ways. while you can be giving your everything, if your counterparts are not giving everything and you're just not seeing eye to eye, it's just never going to work out. So there's things that are just not meant to be. No matter how bad you want them to, no matter how hard you work, there's things that are just not always going to be a great fit. And that's perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. It's all about just realizing this, realizing when you've given your all, when you've tried your best, and learning to let go when it's necessary. The fourth and final thing that I learned is that with every end comes a new beginning. And it doesn't matter where our life takes us. It doesn't matter how many times we fail or how many doors close. There's always going to be a new chapter, a new beginning for us. If you guys have something that you're working on, or if you have a plan, if you have a vision, if you have a goal, work on it. Work on it. Just keep on going. Forget everyone that's ever told you that you cannot do something. Forget people that doubt you. Forget people who do not embrace who you are and who do not push you to be better. Forget about the people who have ever made you feel like you are not completely valuable and like you don't bring something great to the table, because you do. And if somebody cannot see that, maybe that's just not the place for you. Maybe you haven't discovered yourself what your true passion is. But believe me, you have something special and somebody will see that. You just need to first believe in yourself, put yourself out there, and keep on trying. But anyways, today was obviously a very corny video. It was super quick, but again, that's just because I wanted to make it really conversational. So I'm sorry if there was a lot of mistakes and if I repeated myself a lot. That's what happens when you're not doing very much editing. But anyways, thank you guys so much for the support. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.